Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I wanted to work on something more detailed, but sadly, as it is, I'm running a little bit of time and I didn't want to let you all wait for too long for an update here in the speedrun world. So let's do a bit of a quick news round from the Metal Gear Solid speedrun scene, and I got quite a few topics for you to talk about today. At first, we have quite interesting development here. You may have seen it already on one gaming site, but apparently in Metal Gear Solid 2, in the old PC version, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance for PC, there's a unique trick that we can use only there, and we recently found out that it's actually also limited to the OS that you're running this game on. So this is how it normally would do. If you go here, you just use Emma, bump her into the corner, and get rid of her that way. It goes into the out of bounds, and then when you leave the room and come back, she will actually spawn in again, not inside the elevator, but way closer to the exit where we want to be during the speedrun. And as Platonic I found out just a few weeks ago, actually, this is depending on your OS that you're using. So this one was done on Windows 10, but then he updated to Windows 11. Apparently, he cannot do this trick anymore. Since then, we did a lot of work and tested out a few different systems on Windows and see where it works and where it doesn't work. And apparently, especially on Windows XP, where it was used to run natively, it doesn't work. Windows 8, it doesn't work. And Windows 11, it doesn't work. However, it does work on Windows 8.1. It does run, of course, on Windows 10, where most people were still running. It does run on Windows 11 IoT Enterprise LTSC being the long-term solution. And of course, we have Windows 11 Education, the ARM version. So this is running actually not on native x86 systems, but on a small device like a Raspberry Pi, for example. Some of these just don't make any sense. And it also doesn't really make sense why it's depending on the Windows version that you're running on, why Emma goes out of bounds or just doesn't. And the whole idea basically right now is that we're just thinking probably just has to do with the fact that there's something in the calculation of the numbers in the background that has changed during the systems, and that in one set of systems there's calculation done in one way, and on other systems it's done another way, where this error basically doesn't happen anymore. And we just are lucky enough to be getting this result of Emma going into the out of bounds just by standing in the right position and the numbers lining up. She then vanishes into the out of bounds. So this math rounding error that's basically happening in the background apparently is depending on the Windows version that you run on. And it is quite a thing because you can save around 15 seconds if you do everything ideally, and Emma goes out of bounds in 2 different locations in the speedrun. And of course, meaning if you're running on Windows 11, just the regular desktop version, at least you cannot use that trick anymore and you're losing out on that time save. Still, so many people are having the Windows 10 PCs, which is great, but on the other hand, the trick and the time save that we get from it is also combined with a lot of risk of the trick just not working or taking longer to be executed, where at the point we don't even save time anymore or actually are starting to lose time. So ironically, while this so-called Emma zip seemingly does only work on certain systems and Windowses, it's only really noticeable for a few runners, such as myself, for example, who had a PB in the 1 hour and 1 minute time segment where I used this trick as well. And if I ever were to update to Windows 11, apparently can't use it anymore. Then we also found out that there's a few things in the Snake Tales segments that we can actually skip. And that's not even a glitch. So normally in Snake Tales B, there's a segment after the fight where we talk to Stillman. We have to go over to Strut B and activate the node here. This activation of the node, as we see right here in the video from Platonic Guy, actually isn't necessary. This is fully optional, which means that Marlon8, who just randomly tried it out, actually found out, oh, after this fight, you don't even need to go back to Strut B. You can just go back to Strut D right away, and you save quite a big chunk of time. So the previous world record was an 8 minutes and 16 seconds speedrun of Snake Tales B. And also now with Mom as Hell, it has been already updated to 7 minutes and 46 seconds. Now Bracken, yet a third speedrunner, also took a look at this level and said, I can do that even better. And he got a time of 7 minutes and 33 seconds here. And that is currently the world record for Snake Tales B, which previously wasn't even thought about to be getting close to a flat 8-minute time. And now we are actually in the middle 7-minute time. Just because we tried out, hey, why are we actually going to the node? We don't need to do that. Well, and as it shows, yeah, this is not even glitch. You can just skip it and still continue to run as normal. And now to leave Snake Tales and Metal Gear Solid 2, we're going to talk about Metal Gear Solid Peacewalker. Right now, at least the Metal Gear Solid Peacewalker runners are discussing if they want to allow emulators for the full game leaderboards. As it currently stands, the full game leaderboards, which have been segmented in different categories, one of them is the first ending, so after chapter 4, before chapter 5, 5, starting from basically a new game save file. Then of course there's first ending with all S ranks or all missions done on S rank. And of course other segments like true ending, so chapter 5 ending, both for New Game Plus and New Game Done and others. All of these have been done currently only on hardware, and we did allow so far, at least for the so-called individual levels, so individual missions, the use of emulators. It makes it easier accessible, and especially for some individual levels where you need a very advanced New Game Plus save file, it is just easier to take that save file, plug it into RPCS3, for example, and then run that individual level once. So you don't need to grind your materials and your weapons for hours and hours and hours only to do this one level in 5 seconds. But what we've never done before is actually allowing these full game categories to be run also on emulator. And now, after some while and more testing, especially in terms of does the quality even hold up of the emulation, and of course also internal logical things that need to be applied. For example, the IGT running exactly as it should, where 1 second in IGT passes, also 1 second in RTA passes. All that seemingly is working right now, both on RPCS3 and the Xbox 360 emulator Xenia. And so I sat down this week and did a little bit of a test run here of the first 50 minutes of the game, timed out a lot of different versions, both from the console runs, from Xbox Series X console to PS3 disc version, PS3 digital version, and of course the emulator runs. And as the data actually shows, the load times are fairly similar to each other, at least on this graph. If you want to see a better comparison of the differences, you can actually see it here, where the blue line is actually the difference between the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 3, where if you go higher, there's more difference. And the red line actually is the difference between the Xbox Series X and the Xenia emulator, where the line is relatively flat even towards the line. So the more closer you're to the baseline, the less difference there is between the load times. Of course, there are also differences. If you run on RPCS3, there are massive upgrades actually. So on PlayStation 3, which is massively slower than anything else, if you run an RPCS3 emulator, you do have faster load times and hence, of course, can overall get a faster speedrun done as well. This does not mean that the IGTs will be done faster. It's just the load times make a difference, of course, for the full game categories where we load a lot of levels. And of course, if these loads happen faster, you save time because we actually use just regular old real time, so RTA, to measure out these full game categories. So as it stands right now, so far we have not advanced yet to the actual voting stage, but it looks very promising that in the future, actually, if enough people, of course, voting for it, that the emulator RPCS3 and Xenia, or just one of the two, will be actually allowed to be used for full game runs of Peacewalker. And talking of emulation, last bit of news that we have here this week also, we are almost done with the Autosplitter for Metal Gear MSX. We already did the work, which is me and the Mental Salad, for Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, where we made a new update to the Autosplitter, which previously only worked on PCXS2 1.60. But of course, since now there's been a new version developed from PCXS2 2.0, and of course there's constant updates to that, we decided to use a new plugin called emuhelp, and that actually guarantees us always the exact memory address and the relations to the data, of course, inside the game, so that we can have one Autosplitter file, and whenever the emulator updates, it won't change the addresses anymore, so we can use one update, so we can use one Autosplitter, and it works on any update of PCXS2, and that of course across the board for different regions as well. So if you run Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, that already exists, and for Metal Gear 1 MSX, where emulation is also a great way to speedrun this game because it's very small, very lightweight, and of course PCXS2 already was approved. Now with PCXS2 2.0 being a thing, I wanted to update that emulator as well, so with the same technology, of course. Now almost done, there is the new Autosplitter as well. So if you decided or ever run Metal Gear MSX, or if you want to learn how to run Metal Gear MSX, I made a full video series and playlist on my channel where I teach you how to run this game, and then you can join the board as well. And since there's a new Autosplitter now available for the latest version of PCXS2, it's also all done automatically for you. I'm quite happy about this result and this update, and I hope, of course, that more people will join the boards once again and update their times. Even though there's not been an update yet to the world record, who knows, maybe you, the viewer, could be the next one to get the world record. What we see right now, here's Calista Rain, for example. She's just running a lot of times and helped a lot here, so shout out to you as well for helping me test this Autosplitter. And that's the news. Not much has been going on in like big terms, but in at least small things left and right, there's been updates. And I really like, for example, the fact in Snake Tales B that we just don't need to go to Struct B at all. It's fully optional. We just move on with the story and can do the speedrun even faster than we did it before. So that alone is just a fun little thing somebody never thought about doing. But once we did it, we noticed, oh, we can do this. Instant free time save for everyone to get a massive new PB update in this segment. So with that being said, of course, I hope everyone had a great week so far, and I wish you all a great weekend ahead, and I'll see you all hopefully in a new video soon. Bye bye, guys.